Hi, this is Charlie Mato-Toyela with another video on Native American flute making. This video is going to show you something really simple to do that I think a lot of you might think there's no way to fix that. And really what we're looking at is the drilling of these fingerings being all kinds of crooked. And I'm looking straight down the flute and you can see that this one's over here, this one's over there, this one's over here, over there, over there. I haven't done this in a long time really. Make a mistake like this. This one was done on purpose. But I have had a lot of people ask the question on how to fix it, so I wanted to show you how to do it. Anyway, in the past I have met and even talked to flute makers that said they did their holes this way, said that it's better for your fingerings, and I can't tell that it would be any better or worse. You know, we could sit down and pick it to death and figure it out, but I don't get it. So I like to have my holes in a straight line, and as these have been drilled on kind of a really crooked course, I'll show you what I used to do when I make a mistake, and sometimes I still do, maybe drill one off a little bit to the side, just a little bit, but it's not every other hole. And I'll show you how to straighten that back out. It's really easy. So take a look at this. Okay, so I went ahead and drew a line on it. This is actually a crack that's been repaired. This is a line that I've drawn on the flute here only for reference. I really don't recommend drawing the line because it's very difficult setting your ruler on there, and if you use the old PVC method of making a straight edge with that and drawing a line with it, it's just so much extra work, it makes it not really a flute anymore. And personally, I believe in keeping these things kind of organic and kind of keeping them the way that they are made in the first place, but I also like to perfect anything I can along the route. This is a fine example too of how I like to eyeball things. When I'm drilling my holes, I may look down the edge of it like this right here and just eyeball it and see what lines up straight with this sound hole here, and that's the way that I'm going to drill them. It's the way that I mark them, it's the way that I burn them out, and likewise, like with hearing the flute, you know, it's how the flute sounds, not how the tuner shows you that the flute needs to be, that really is important. So I'm going to burn this hole over here this way just a tiny bit. It's part of the reason also that I use a tiny drill bit to drill my holes out. Habits from the old days. It does give me a little flexibility on where to put the fingerings, but you see how we moved that hole over that way quite a bit. Here's the original edge of it, and the hole was originally this size in diameter. Original edge over here, the middle was about where the other edge of it was, and now we put it this way. Kind of nice. And then this one needs to go the opposite direction, so we're going to move it just a little bit that way. Check it out, those two holes now look like they're pretty well in line, which is what we're going to do with the other holes. This is just a good technique for a beginner if you're concerned with how straight your holes are and slightly less concerned about the tone, whether it be a or G or what have you. And of course too, it would work still if you're tuning your flute to a specific key. Just takes a little pre-planning when you're using your burning tool. So if you're going to burn these holes out to tune them anyway, use a much smaller burning tool to reshape or realign the holes. This one, as you can see from the line, needs to come over this way a little bit. So I'm actually focusing my burning tool nearer the center of that line. Still, we have virtually 1/4 inch holes there, so we got a long ways we could work with that. I don't like to make fingerings that are larger than 3/8 of an inch in diameter, and on a flute this size, I don't like to make them much larger than 1/4 or 5/16 would be a really big one, I think. If we were going to have to eventually tune it to 5/16, using this 1/4 inch first would be a great way to go. So like I say, when I'm pushing down with my burning tool, I think we've just about got it there. Let me clean it up and see. When I'm pushing down with my burning tool, I'm pushing more on the side. Whoops, lost my clamp. Pushing more on the side that it needs to travel to. So this one you can still see just a little bit of that original hole there, so I'm going to go back through it one more time with a burning tool. just to round things off a bit. So what happens if you were making a, let's say, an A flute, and reshaping those holes made it, and this is only for those of you who are wanting to tune your flute to a European scale. Let's say you were making an A flute and you reshaped the holes a little bit and it caused one of the notes or two of the notes to go too sharp. What do? Well, what I would suggest to do is make it a B flat flute instead, if indeed European scale is what you're looking for. And if it's not what you're looking for, you know, you're in luck. You can make the holes just about whatever size you want, make the thing sound in tune with itself, which usually sounds the best to our ears, and kind of go from there. Of course, the other option is the one that's going to come up on our next tips and tricks video, which is actually resizing the holes all together, putting a plug in it, and relocating the center of the hole. And that'll get a little bit complex, but I'll show you. And we may even have to have some overlays on that to kind of show you where to go. But anyway, I think that's good. Let's try it out and see if it plays. So we have the flute now with the holes appearing to be a lot more straight, and I can see right down the edge there that they're pretty doggone straight, within about 1/10 of a millimeter of each other. Of course, I make flutes when I sleep behind you. That's how we keep up with all these orders. But anyway, the holes are perfect in line there, and let's see what it sounds like. It sounds like that top note's just a little bit sharp, as you would think, because it's a little bit larger in diameter. And I may go back with my other burning tool and reburn the bottom 4 so that they sound a little bit more. That note's just a little sharp, so listen to this. That's how I test it, to see if it's too sharp. I cover it up a little bit with my finger. If it seems to be too flat, burn it out. So anyway, that's where we're going to go. And since we've now got this one too sharp and these are obviously too flat, we're going to go ahead and burn those a little bit larger. But anyway, I hope this has helped some of you that are on your way to becoming a great flute maker. And a lot of the beginners, of course, are wondering how you can do different things and different techniques and ways to accomplish certain ends. And I hope that these videos help you out some. I do like making them for you and seeing all the questions that everybody has, and trying to help out by answering one or two of them online if we can. But anyway, once again, this is Charlie Mato-Toyela for BlueBearFlutes.com, Blue Bear Arts on YouTube, and also Blue Bear Arts on Facebook. And please make sure you come check out what we've got going on. Take care.